All right, let's go through the situation here as the most exciting move is in crypto and Bitcoin. Some lessons learned, one that we talk about here a lot, which is divorcing personal feelings and perhaps one's fundamental views for price, which as we always describe, price is king. The green light's been on crypto now for several weeks. Everything else holds. Dollar looks strong. Bonds continue to sell off. Stocks are looking pretty good here. Kind of keeping an eye on some of the tech stuff. But if we just swap out maybe NVIDIA's leadership for Salesforce, that's a pretty good situation. But here's the important thing about crypto and Bitcoin. We've got the big breakout here. And this is a fun one to do because, as you know, I've always generally been a cynic. And I remain a cynic generally on the fundamentals of BTC. Frankly, if you ask me, I think a lot of this is a big hype around how much the president's talking about it, what he's actually going to do. Is there going to be any new buying power coming into this? It's possible. Who knows what he's going to do? They talked about putting it on the balance sheet, but as Vivek Ramaswamy told us, that was more of a thought experiment. So apart from firing Gary Gensler, which they've told us, and maybe opening up regulatory pathways, sure, there could be some fundamental shifts here, but we don't know what they are yet. And even today in our conversation with the CoinDesk folks is their bull case was basically Trump talks about it a lot. Other things too, but that's exactly what I was pointing out here in the weeks when crypto was green. Important lesson, even if you do have your own cynicism about maybe the fundamental value of a stock or the utility of something like Bitcoin, price is king. Here's what I mean. Got a little note sheet here from the past risk radar analysis of crypto. Going back to November, from last year, the light was green on crypto up until February, in which case, or rather early Jan. Then it went sideways. It was yellow or red as we slipped. February 14th, the light went green. Boom! Was there all the way through until it started petering out. Then it had the yellow or red throughout the entire period, basically when it was in a downtrend, flipped up to yellow here on April 2nd, rather back there. And then here, boom, Sep 29. The breakout, this was the key because you had the lower highs. Once you broke through the lower highs, the chart was pretty clear that the thing was breaking out. And the green light's been on it since. You don't have to be a believer to understand what causes things to move. That's what's really important here, okay? The analysis has to be divorced from one's personal views because catalysts and forces of the market can be pretty easily tracked. And when you have something that does really well when people talk about it, or when ETFs get launched, it's not hard to figure out what's going to move the price. When you have lower highs and lower lows, then you've got the yellow or the red light on. That's the point of the risk radar, is to identify trend. So now what comes next? I still, however, have one holdout thing on the chart. If you zoom out to the long term, I mean like the long term for BTC, the objective here, what needs to happen in my mind to open up the door to the dream case the coiners hope for, the 100 plus Bitcoin, etc., is to get higher highs on the RSI. On the long-term chart of Bitcoin going back to its existence, you have a bearish divergence on the RSI on a weekly or monthly basis. That means that as you've been putting in newer highs, each breakout has come with a little bit less ferocity. Now, of course, it's been incredible ferocity, but if you think about it all the way back to the beginning, that basically says that each time it has a breakout, it's lost a little tiny bit of momentum. And so this time around, you want to see the RSI get above, break out, and then there's pretty much no bear case left from the notion of it being a purely speculative asset. So at least right now, I'm happy that the price action has told us how to follow it on the risk radar. It's pretty much nailed it despite being a cynic. So there you have it. We'll see what the Trump admin does. Still have no clue, but for now, don't fight it until it either breaks down further or you see the rejection of a higher high in RSI. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.